The Sweet Inspirations, Estelle Brown. Look at you. When she saw me, I didn't get to see her last night. When she saw me, she said, "There's my cousin."
I didn't call him my cousin. I said, "There's my brother."
That's right. You did. You represent the Browns well.
Yes, I do.
You know
So
what?
do you.
Oh, thank you. That moment, first of all, we can't. It's just everybody's talking about it. I saw people talking about it online. Tell us about last night, what that meant to you, and
Oh, Lord.
you had a hard time getting back to your room last
I
night.
did, but I didn't mind. It was an amazing experience. I felt so good in singing that song, "How Great Thou Art," because I really believe and I really feel that that's really true, because He is great. What do you think? Is He a great God or what? That's how I really feel about it. Yeah.
When you're on stage, how much can you see the reaction of people in the audience?
I can't really see the reaction because of the lights.
Yeah.
But I can feel and I can hear how the people respond, and that's good.
Yeah. You had a little bit of a reunion going on backstage with some people that you hadn't seen in a while, too.
Yes. Some of my co-workers who have gone on, their family members are here, and I haven't seen them in years. And it's such a good feeling to know that they're still around and they're still interested in what their parents did. You know, so that makes it real good.
So Elvis always wanted those singers on stage. The more singers, the better for him.
That's right, always.
How did the Sweet Inspirations become part of Elvis's world?
Well, when Elvis finished in the service, he was getting ready to begin his live performances again. And he said, "I need some help. I want some background singers." So he originally wanted the Blossoms, but the Blossoms were working with Tom Jones, so they couldn't come. So then he had his people to call Sweet Inspirations. And we said, "What? Elvis Presley? He's a rock and roll singer. We basically sing gospel." So we said, "We don't know if we can do this." He said, "Well, I tell you what, you just come and try it. Come and try singing." So they sent us the albums, all of Elvis's albums, told us to learn the songs, come for rehearsal, and take it from there. So we did. When we got to Las Vegas for the first rehearsal, we're sitting on stage waiting to start the normal rehearsals. Here comes Elvis. He came over. "Hello, ladies." He said, "Hi." He said, "I'm Elvis Presley." Really? But then we had the rehearsal, and it went so well until we just decided, well, we'll go with them, give them a try. And the rest of that is history.
He never let you relax on stage, though. You had to keep your eye on him.
Had to keep your eye on, because you never knew what he was going to do, what song he was going to come up with, but you just never knew. He might come and tickle you, he might come and push you, or whatever. Just, he likes to have fun. He was a jokester.
Yeah.
And we had to keep our eye on him. Keep your eyes on him. You have to watch me. You don't know what I'm gonna do. I said, you're right. You're right.
And you guys, the Sweets were part of the show and opening the show, you know, with the comedian and the Sweets would come out on
Yes.
stage and you're singing for the audience and
Yes.
and there's all those moments that he would come in and you guys would sometimes be on stage when he was backstage,
Yes.
getting the audience ready to go. So
Exactly.
you had 2 shows every
Yes.
night. You had your show and then you were in his
We
show.
had 3 shows, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Because after the normal show, we had another show after the show up in his suite.
Yeah. That was the
We
show.
thought it was the end of it, but no, that was the beginning.
Well, it's almost like I've said this before. His concert was for the audience, and
Yes.
upstairs was for him.
Yes.
Of songs like The
Songs-
Lighthouse and
Definitely.
I John and those kind of songs.
Basically, all the songs that we sang after the original show was gospel music
Mhm.
up in Elvis's suite, and we stayed up almost all night long, after every show.
Mhm.
But it was great because we had fun. We would laugh, talk, eat, tell jokes, and tell lies. But we had fun. We had fun.
How did you know you had a voice that you wanted to sing? What was it about? What happened to you?
Well, first, when I first sang, it was in school. They had what they call the Glee Club, where they had all the students that wanted to sing to come together and form a choir like.
Mhm.
And then my music teacher told me, "Oh, you should sing." I said, "You should sing." So
Mhm.
I tried it, but then to enhance that, I used to sing in church all the time. Church, and then my brothers and sisters and I had a family group, and
Mhm.
it just escalated from there. And then we would do backgrounds for different artists on Atlantic Records, and they got very excited about the background singers and decided, well, we should record them as a group. So they came up with the name, The Inspirations. We couldn't use that name because there was another group out already called The Inspirations. And one of the guys said, well, why don't you just call them Sweet Inspirations? And that's, from there on, that's what we were.
Yeah.
And we recorded
Yeah.
a song called Sweet Inspirations, and it was a hit. And from there, we were on. And guess what? Elvis liked that song. He liked Sweet Inspirations because he shocked us one night, and in his show, he sang Sweet Inspirations. And we background him. In our song, yeah, it was really nice.
You let him take it that
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Tell us about the ladies in the group, Sylvia and Myrna. And Sissy.
Sylvia, Myrna, Sylvia Shinwell, Myrna Smith, Sissy Houston. Sissy Houston, which was Whitney Houston's mom. And we all sang together.
Yeah.
And that I think when we worked with Elvis the first year in '69, Sissy, Whitney's mom, was with us. But then she left because she wanted to go home and groom Whitney to do her performances.
She
And
did a good job at that.
she did a wonderful job. Whitney Houston was a wonderful singer. Yeah. But she really got it. The singing part came from her mom because Sissy could really sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, Sissy did the lead on the song Sweet Inspirations. Yeah, so.
Tell me about them. What kind of memories do you have of traveling with your sisters, the Sweets?
We would try. What did they call it? The Chitlin Circuit.
Chitlin Circuit.
The Chitlin Circuit. It wasn't fun. It wasn't easy, but we loved it because we loved singing. So we loved what we were doing, and so we did it. And then our biggest break came when Elvis called and asked us to accompany him. So
Yeah.
there we go.
it's one of those things when you start singing as a kid, it doesn't become, it's something you love doing. And you can't even consider that would be a career. Just like what Bill Superfoot was saying, that karate wanted it to be a career, but his dad had other ideas. And sometimes you find your calling as a young. So I imagine for you, singing has never been work.
No, it has never been. I love singing, but what I really wanted to be was a school teacher. That was my goal, to be a school teacher. But it didn't work out that way, because evidently that was not God's plan for my life. So I ended up singing, and I love singing. I really do.
Well, last night we could tell that something happened last night. That was special. When you guys were on the road with Elvis, it's tough. You look around now and it's hard to realize how difficult travel was. Back in the day when you left home, you were out of communication with everybody.
Yes.
There was no cell phones, there was no way to get in touch with people. How tough was that for you to go away from family, to be on the road?
Go away from family, be away from home. It wasn't as tough as you might think it was. First of all, my mom and dad weren't here. My mom died when I was 4. My dad died when I was 9. So it wasn't hard. I had siblings. I had 2 brothers and a sister, but they were busy doing their thing. So it wasn't really hard. We were not really a close-knit family, as most people have close-knit families, but we were not. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. Yeah.
After Elvis passed away and you guys continued on, you became a part of, well, you never left the Elvis world.
Right.
But then you find yourself still back on stage in the big screen show singing with Elvis, meeting with worldwide fans, something he never got the opportunity to do.
Correct, because he always wanted to go overseas, but he was never allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And we were happy to go in his behalf. When they did the big screen, Elvis Live, Elvis is still here, Elvis Live. When they did that concert, we were glad to be a part of it.
I've met some people that say they saw Elvis, 75 times in concert. They saw Elvis 100 times in concert. Do you have any idea how many times you saw Elvis in concert?
Well, I sang with Elvis over 1,000 concerts.
I dare say, except for maybe James Burton, nobody saw Elvis more times live in concert than
But you know what tickles me? What puzzles me? Everybody that was a part of the Elvis group left or were replaced or had to be out, but he never, ever changed the sweet inspirations. They were always thank God.
For you at an event like this, here we are in Memphis all these years later, and Elvis, if he was here, he would have turned 90 on Wednesday, and I just think about all that he missed.
Yes.
This love that people still have for him, and have for you, and have for all the people that were part of Elvis's life.
Yes.
It's very special.
It's real special, and I'm enjoying. I'm overwhelmed with the love that I'm receiving from all of you. Thank you so much. Because you know what? I recognize you don't have to do that. I mean, nobody has to love you, but because you do, I'm very appreciative, and I want you to know. I consider you all my family.
There's so many younger people coming into the Elvis world and discovering him, and discovering you and the Sweets and all the people that were on stage. So many different kinds of music Elvis did, but that I watched you watch Richard in his interview and listening to that gospel music, and you were singing along and agreeing with Richard when he would talk about Elvis and gospel. That there's just something about that music that was different.
It was the gospel music that helped inspire Elvis. He loved the gospel music. He loved it very much. And it shows when he sings it. You can feel it, you can see it, so you know that he loved it.
Yeah.
You know?
I just know what happened with contemporary Christian music in the 80s, and as it really started to really come into its own and grow and have outlets. I just really think that Elvis might have been a real big part of that Bill Gaither gospel kind of.
I believe so.
Kind of.
Also. I believe so also.
Yeah.
I think he I don't know, for some reason, I think Elvis might have turned up being a preacher. That's how involved he was in gospel.
Some people say he is out there now. I'd be going down to get baptized every week.
I don't think it would be necessary for every week, but.
Well, it's great to have you here, and like I said, you never know when those magic moments are going to happen, and last night was one of those. Something else that they started here at Elvis Presley Enterprises a few years ago is the Graceland Legends Award. It's something that they really looked at, just like I was saying, when the Sweets were on stage with Elvis, with the Stamps and the Imperials and the TCB Band and Maestro Gershio and all the people that supported Elvis that were a part of that Elvis Presley show on stage. It wasn't just him alone. He had his family with him. And they had the You Were family. And they inducted a few years ago Scotty and Bill and DJ, those first guys from Sun that were a part of the liftoff of the Big Bang of rock and roll. And then the TCB Band has been inducted, James and Ronnie and Glenn D and Jerry. And the Nashville, the A-Team that were part of the Nashville Marathon Sessions, Norbert Putnam and guys like that are part of it, David Briggs. And the Jordanaires last year were inducted as Graceland Legends, all those guys. And we want to do something now very special, again, to make a little special moment. If you would, take a look at this video, and we have something special planned.
Can't see.
The Sweet Inspirations, founded by Sissy Houston, mother of Whitney Houston, were Elvis' female backing vocal group from 1969 to 1977. Their 1967 debut album, Sweet Inspirations, was followed by 7 more albums and several notable vocal collaborations with some of the most famous artists ever. Jimi Hendrix, Aretha Franklin, Wilson Pickett, and many more. But the most recognizable among the artists they worked with was Elvis Presley. The Sweet Inspirations. He hired them in 1969 during Elvis' first Las Vegas engagement with no audition. The Sweet Inspirations also began recording and touring with Elvis as both background singers and his warm-up act. Whether harmonizing with Elvis on stage or in the recording studio, it's no secret that Elvis enjoyed working with the Sweets. From joking around to the times they spent together singing gospel songs late into the night, Houston says we would jam with him for an hour singing gospel. He really loved it, had a feel for it, and was tickled to have 4 church sisters backing him up. Their friendship was one that he really cherished. When on stage with the Sweet Inspirations, Elvis was known to tell the crowd they sure live up to their name. You can see some of that camaraderie in the concert documentary, Elvis, That's the Way It Is. Join us in congratulating Estelle Brown, Sissy Houston, Sylvia Shimwell, and Myrna Smith as we induct the Sweet Inspirations into Graceland Legends to honor and